Did you know that 65% of relationships struggle with communication breakdowns? It's no surprise that many couples hit a point where their conversations feel predictable, dull, or even awkward. The spark fades, and before you know it, you're talking just to fill silence, not to connect. But here's the twist: what if you could instantly turn those boring talks into something exciting, fun, and engaging? Imagine flipping the script on your everyday conversations. It sounds simple, right? Well, that's the beauty of the opposite game. In this video, we're diving into how this playful strategy can bring back the fun, improve your bond, and even strengthen your emotional connection. Whether you're dating, married, or just navigating everyday conversations, the opposite game is a game changer. Stick around as we explore how to transform boring chats into moments of laughter and deep connection. Ready to spice up your conversations? Let's get started. Chapter 1: Flip the Script. How playing the opposite game turns conversations around. Have you ever been in a conversation where everything feels flat, like you're stuck in a loop of the same old topics? That's when you know it's time for a change. Enter the opposite game, a fun, simple trick to break out of boring conversations. It's not about being disrespectful or sarcastic, it's about being creative and shaking things up. The idea is simple: take what your partner says and respond with the opposite. This strategy shifts the energy instantly, adding playfulness and surprise. Studies show that when we break patterns in conversations, our brains release dopamine, the feel-good chemical. In relationships, this can boost emotional connection and create a sense of novelty. For example, if your partner says, "I'm so tired today," instead of sympathizing, you could say, "I'm so energized, I could run a marathon." You're not making light of their feelings, but you're shifting the tone in a lighthearted, unexpected way. This injects humor and breaks the monotony. The opposite game is especially useful in long-term relationships where routines often make conversations predictable. According to relationship expert Dr. John Gottman, couples who engage in playful interactions, like teasing or lighthearted contradictions, report higher satisfaction. Why? Because this playful conflict helps avoid emotional stagnation. You're allowing room for surprise, sparking curiosity, and keeping the relationship fun. And this isn't just about switching things up for the sake of it, it actually works. A 2016 study found that couples who engage in playful, unexpected communication experience better emotional intimacy. Even though the opposite response might not always make sense, it shows your partner that you're attentive and present, actively participating in the exchange rather than letting it drag on. Next time a conversation gets dull, think of it as an opportunity to be creative. Playfully flip the narrative, and watch how the energy shifts. You might even find yourselves laughing together, which is a bond in itself. Whether you're discussing dinner plans or your day at work, the game brings a fresh perspective that turns the conversation into something new and exciting. Chapter 2: Opposites Attract. The science of balance in relationships. It's not just a catchy phrase, there's actual science behind the idea that opposites attract. In relationships, differences can be a source of strength. While it's true that we are often drawn to people who share our values, it's equally true that contrasting personality traits can lead to a more balanced, dynamic connection. When you play the opposite game, you aren't necessarily diving into deep disagreements. Instead, you're embracing your differences, celebrating the unique aspects of your partner's personality. Psychologists have found that couples with complementary differences are often more successful than those who are too similar. According to a study from the University of Michigan, the greater the balance between similar and differing qualities, the stronger the bond. Opposites often challenge each other, leading to growth and a more nuanced understanding of each other's worldviews. The beauty of the opposite game is that it brings out the contrast without conflict. Let's say your partner is the quiet, introspective type, and you're the outgoing, talkative one. If the conversation starts to feel dull, you can switch gears by taking on a quieter, more reserved tone, mirroring your partner's natural state. In doing so, you build empathy and show that you can move between your differences with ease. It also allows both of you to step outside your usual comfort zones, which can lead to better emotional understanding. In relationships, the balance between shared experiences and differences is crucial. A famous quote from psychologist Carl Jung states, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." By embracing each other's opposite qualities, you're essentially saying, I accept you as you are. And that acceptance? It's powerful. It gives room for both partners to thrive individually while building a stronger bond together. Interestingly, a 2018 study published in Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin confirmed that couples who embraced their differences were more likely to adapt and grow together over time. They didn't need to be identical to stay in sync, they just needed to find harmony in their dissimilarities. Playing the opposite game can help you practice this concept in everyday life, fostering both fun and deeper connection. Chapter 3, From Boring to Bold. How to create intrigue and mystery with opposites. Conversations in relationships can sometimes feel like they're on autopilot. You've heard it all before. So, how do you break free from the dull, repetitive chatter? The answer lies in creating mystery. Mystery isn't just for novels or movies, it's a key ingredient in keeping a relationship exciting. Using the opposite game is a simple yet effective way to introduce an element of surprise. When you start responding with the opposite of what's expected, you automatically create intrigue. Think about it, when someone does something unexpected, it grabs your attention. And in relationships, attention is the first step toward deeper emotional engagement. The key to using opposites effectively is to keep it playful and curious. Let's say you're out on a date with your partner, and the conversation is winding down. Instead of discussing the usual topics, try introducing something unexpected. If your partner says, I think I'll order the salmon, you could jokingly say, I'm going for the chocolate cake as a main course. It's a small shift, but it changes the course of the conversation. Why does this work? Mystery triggers curiosity. In a study published in Psychology Today, researchers found that couples who engage in playful unpredictability report higher levels of relationship satisfaction. When you switch things up, you make the conversation less about exchanging information and more about exploring each other in new ways. This makes you more intriguing to your partner, keeping them invested in what comes next. By adding this unexpected twist, you not only break the monotony but also show your partner that you're still fascinated by them. Relationships thrive on intrigue, the spark that keeps things interesting. It's easy to fall into patterns, but with a little effort, you can rediscover the thrill of conversation, even after years together. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe to get more tips and tricks for keeping your relationship fresh and exciting. Chapter 4, Laugh Your Way to Love. The power of humor in turning things around. Laughter is often called the best medicine, and it's true, especially in relationships. When a conversation feels like it's heading nowhere, humor can break the tension and reignite the spark. Playing the opposite game is a perfect way to introduce humor into an otherwise dull discussion. Research shows that couples who laugh together are more likely to stay together. A study published in Psychology Today found that shared laughter strengthens relationships, building trust and deepening emotional intimacy. Humor is a universal language that creates a sense of connection, and using it intentionally in your conversations can make both of you feel closer. When you flip the script and use the opposite of what's expected, you create a playful, lighthearted atmosphere. For instance, if your partner complains about their stressful day, instead of offering sympathy right away, try lightening the mood by saying, Well, I just signed up for a full marathon, can you top that? It's playful and unexpected, and it changes the energy. Laughter, especially in difficult moments, can diffuse tension and make hard conversations easier. A study by the University of Maryland found that couples who can laugh during conflict have a better chance of resolving disagreements constructively. Humor is like a reset button for your emotions. It shifts your focus away from stress and allows you to bond over something joyful. But here's the thing, humor isn't about mocking your partner. It's about creating a space where both of you can be silly, where you don't have to take everything so seriously. As relationship expert Dr. Laura Berman puts it, laughter in love is the glue that binds couples together during difficult times. By introducing humor into your relationship, you're not just making things fun, you're strengthening your bond. Humor makes life lighter and reminds you that love doesn't always have to be serious to be deep. So, the next time your conversation starts dragging, try laughing at the absurdity of it all. It might just make you both feel more connected. Chapter 5, Opposites in Action. Real-life examples of how couples make it work. It's one thing to talk about theory and strategies, but what does the opposite game look like in real life? Let's dive into some real-life examples of couples who've made this work, turning dull moments into opportunities for deeper connection. Take Sarah and Jake, for example. They've been together for 5 years, and at first, their conversations followed a predictable pattern. But when they started playing the opposite game, it transformed their relationship. Instead of just agreeing with each other, they would throw in humorous, unexpected responses. If Sarah said, "I had a terrible day at work," Jake might reply with, "Well, I just got promoted to superhero status." This playful banter broke the tension and helped them laugh together, even on stressful days. Or consider Mark and Ella, who've been married for over 10 years. They're different in many ways. Mark is an introvert and Ella is an extrovert. But they found that playing the opposite game helped them bridge the gap between their personalities. Ella would say, "Let's go out with friends tonight." And Mark, instead of shutting the idea down, might respond with, "Let's stay home and play board games, but I'll pretend to be a DJ." By using opposites in a fun way, they found common ground without needing to completely change their preferences. These real-life examples show that the opposite game isn't just a quick fix, it's a long-term strategy that fosters understanding and creativity. It allows couples to meet each other halfway, with humor and openness. Instead of letting differences create tension, the game encourages both partners to embrace those differences as part of what makes their bond unique. But the best part? These couples say the opposite game strengthens their emotional intimacy. By being willing to step outside their usual roles and perspectives, they grow together. And, as relationship expert Dr. Gary Chapman says, the goal of love is not to change each other, but to understand and appreciate the differences that make us who we are. Chapter 6, Love Beyond Words, How the Opposite Game Enhances Emotional Intimacy. We often think of emotional intimacy in relationships as something that's built through deep, serious conversations. But sometimes, it's the lighter moments, those playful exchanges, that bring you closer. That's where the opposite game comes in. It's not just about creating fun, it's about using those moments to deepen your emotional connection. The opposite game allows you to see your partner from a new perspective, which fosters empathy. When you respond to something in an unexpected way, it encourages your partner to think about things differently, too. For example, if your partner says they're feeling anxious about an upcoming event, instead of simply offering reassurance, you could say something like, "I'm so excited for you to show everyone your superpower." It's lighthearted, but it also acknowledges their feelings while shifting the conversation in a positive direction. Psychologists agree that emotional intimacy isn't just about sharing secrets or deep vulnerabilities. It's also about sharing experiences, laughter, and the day-to-day moments that build a sense of closeness. In fact, a study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that couples who engaged in playful communication reported feeling more connected and supported emotionally. This playful exchange often makes both partners feel valued and understood, even in small, everyday moments. But how does this relate to the opposite game? When you introduce the unexpected into a conversation, you're opening the door to a deeper connection. You're showing your partner that you can take a risk, be playful and creative, and still maintain a sense of closeness. It's these small, unexpected shifts in communication that create the emotional bonds that last. The opposite game can also help to break down emotional barriers. If one partner is feeling closed off or distant, introducing a playful, opposite response can help lighten the mood and make the conversation less intimidating. Instead of diving straight into heavy topics, the game can ease into deeper discussions without pressure. As relationship coach Esther Perel says, the quality of your connection depends on the quality of your communication. When you use the opposite game to shift the dynamics, you're improving the quality of your communication. Whether you're in a new relationship or have been together for years, these playful exchanges will build a stronger emotional foundation that lasts. So, next time you feel the conversation growing stale, try the opposite game. It's a simple tool, but it has the power to enhance your emotional intimacy in a way that's both fun and meaningful. By embracing these playful moments, you're not just keeping things light, you're building a lasting emotional connection that will deepen over time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips on keeping your relationship fresh, fun, and full of love.